Hello, everybody. It's Friday. That means it's time for another topic of the week. So, first things first, last week's topic on the Monster Mash lists. A lot of good discussion and responses. What I was so happy to see is that I'm not alone. And there was a good mix. Like, it really is the sort of thing where all kind of across the spectrum. Some people love, like me, lists that are, oftentimes overflowing with big gribbly monsters. And there were many people who do like, more traditional hordes. The answers that I really enjoyed were, and this is a good nuance that I'm not sure I really put a fine enough pin on, but that several of the commenters pointed out that I thought was really sharp, was that it depends on the army itself, right? Um, Meaning that if the sort of theme or feel of the army is such that it should be hordes of people. So a lot of people gave the example of like elves. They don't mind a dragon or a phoenix or something, or maybe one of each. But elves, to feel like an elvish army, has to have a lot of elves. Just kind of foot elves and mounted elves or something like that. Or if you're talking about like a more traditional empire-ish army, right, or the humans, that these armies feel right somehow when they've got mostly sort of, you know, human-sized figures running around. Whereas a lot of things like chaos or armies like that can be full of a lot more monsters, and somehow that feels right. So I think that was a really good point. I think probably where your line in that is still on a spectrum, right? I think some people can stand probably more variants of that. Like my Empire army uses, 3 or 4 steam tanks or 3 steam tanks and a Huracanum because I like these kind of things no matter what I do. So I don't know what to tell you. Um, but that does lead us well into the topic for this week, and that is these guys right here, Beasts of Chaos. What do you think of them? I have to say, this was the book I never knew I wanted or cared about. If you would have asked me, 2 or 3 months ago, did I think we were going to get a Beast of Chaos book? I would have said no. I mean, I would have said anything's possible, but if you had to ask me, where do I put the odds, I would have said no chance. Now, obviously, I was very wrong, and I'm happy that I was wrong because it's a really great book. Um, but it's one of those things where I didn't see it coming. And nor was I that concerned about it. Like, I like my Beastmen. I have a very small Beastman force. Um, and but I always kind of thought, yeah, this is just more of like a thing that I use sometimes in generic Chaos armies, and I combine it with my Tzeentch stuff or whatever, just to run kind of a fun pan Chaos list. And here in this book, not only did they reunite all my Beastmen and my Minotaurs and stuff, which I do love. I've always loved the Minotaurs. The Bulgors they're called now, whatever you want to say. With the Doom Bull being one of my favorite models ever. I have several of them, and they're all converted because I love different models, different takes on that model. But the as the more I read it, the more I really loved what the book was all about, and it included they included the monsters of chaos. So within these beasts, they cleverly looked at that list, which has been ostracized for so long. There's been so little ability to pull those monsters into enough lists, and suddenly here they all were, for the most part, with a couple notable exceptions, namely the Vortex Beast, which is now in Tzeentch, so you'd have to run the Phantasmagoria and then run it in Tzeentch, or the other one, Slaughterbrute. There we go. Who is in Khorne, so you'd have to do the same thing with Brass Despoilers. But all in all, that being said, I couldn't be more thrilled with the book. We did a 3.5 hour review of it. We accidentally beat our longest show ever by, like, longest regular Warhammer Weekly, by 5 minutes. Obviously, we've done 8-hour shows before with, big launches and stuff. But those weren't regular Warhammer Weekly episodes. So that happened. If you want to check that out, go back and watch that. But I really, really enjoy the book. The armies that it inspires, I think it's great. But that's what I want to know. What do you think of it? What are you excited to build? Do you already have some beasts? Has this inspired you to get some beasts? That's what I want to know. So drop it down in the comments, or as always, make a response video. There are many big long reviews out and stuff like that. If there's a review you really like besides the one we did, hey, that's cool too. Make sure you shout that out. Let's share a lot of those videos. Share and share like is always a good thing. Boost the signal on that stuff you enjoy. But what do you think of the beasts? Are you expanding your beasts? Are you happy to get them back on the table? Has this made you think about getting some new Beastmen going? Drop it down there. Let me know. As always, appreciate you watching, and we'll see you next time.